Hello, I picked up one of these camera plus VTX plus antenna units a few days ago. I've noticed them popping up on Banggood and other places recently, and I thought I might give one a try because they're a very convenient way to make this plane or that plane become an FPV plane very quickly and easily without having to buy a camera and permanently attach it to all of your models and stuff. So I thought I'd make a video just to give my impressions of it, and also I wanted to do a range test because, as you'll notice here, this is a 25 milliwatt transmitter, so it's rather less powerful than the 200 milliwatt that I usually use, but it has actually performed pretty well in my test. So I'll show you some video from that, and also some video right at the end in kind of very low light conditions, because this camera here is nothing fancy. It's one of those little CMOS jobs that it really doesn't compare to the kind of image that you get from the Runcam or from the PZ0420 sort of cameras or the CCD cameras, but it does okay. And for this cheap price of 27 bucks for the whole unit, I'm quite impressed. I really like it so far. I probably would buy another one if it wasn't for the fact that this is the kind of thing that you only really have to use one of, isn't it? At least that's the intention. So anyway, let's have a look at what you get in the box. So that's what you get in the box. Not much to it. Very small. You can see there, these squares are 1 centimeter squares, so it's sort of about not even 2 centimeters high, not even 3 centimeters wide. The antenna looks to be quite nicely done. It's nickel plated apparently, so that's supposed to reduce corrosion or improve the signal or whatever, I don't know. And there's a little camera. It's got grass stains on it already. Oh, I wonder how that happened. And if we turn over the back here, we'll see a nice little digital display, and there are 2 buttons, bottom right and top left, and we'll see what they do in a minute. And then we have some nice silicone coated wires here which go out to a I forget what the official name for these is, but like a servo connector plug that you can power this from 5 to 17 volts. So it's very, very convenient in that you can run it from a 4S battery, or you can run it from just some spare pins on your receiver or your flight controller, presuming they're running at 5 volts. So yeah, it's quite a nice little package. Oh, and this is actually a removable plug here, so you can take that out, and that's what this is here. It's another one of those that you could perhaps, if you wanted to have this piece stuck on one of your models permanently, you could do that, I suppose. And this one here is almost the same as that, except that the 2 power leads are they just end in wire. There's no terminals crimped on there or anything. So this might be convenient if you wanted to directly solder that to something. And you may be wondering, why is there a 3rd wire here? Well, we'll see that in a minute. And they also give you some of these, which I guess you could use to power this camera from the balance plug of your battery. So they give you 2, 3, and 4S versions of that. You just have to be careful to, when you use this, you don't use it like this. That, even though the plug fits on there, oh, actually it falls off. No, but what I mean is you don't connect it like that. Obviously you need to use the outermost plugs to power it. But anyway, let me connect this up to a power source and get my video goggles turned on, and we will see what those buttons do on the back of the unit there. Wait a minute, I knew I was forgetting something, so I just wanted to weigh this before I continue. So the camera unit itself is just 7 grams, and then if you want one of these wires on there as well, you're looking at 8 grams total. and I also wanted to just quickly show you this because this has some specs there. Where are we? Focus. So the lens Angel is 120 degrees and it's a 600 TV lines screen resolution. It's a 40 channel, so you get the race band channels, and yeah, 5 to 17 volts. Nice voltage range there. I have only tried it at 5 volts myself, but I'll take their word for it that you can run this on a 4S battery. So in the next little bit, when I connect this up, I'm going to show you what the meaning of this stuff is here. So this 1S is 1 second, and you can hold these buttons down, short or long presses, to do this functionality with them. Not really much else interesting on that page. So I've hooked this up to, well, I've running 5 volts through this servo tester, and I'm going to use that to show you how you can change your channels using PWM input. And I'm powering it from my little voltage supply thing here, which at the moment is set to 3.9 volts, because I just wanted to show you at what point it turns on, because some people were asking, can this be run off a 1S battery? The short answer is no. The slightly longer answer is we'll see when I turn the voltage up. So I'm stepping it up. Oh, it's gone to sleep, have you? So if I step it up by 0.1 volt increments, we'll see that when we get to 4.1 volts, now we can see in here that the camera is running at 4.1 volts. So a fully charged single cell LiPo being 4.2 volts, or if you're lucky it's 4.2 volts, you could probably run this off a 1S LiPo that had very low load on it. But if you were to put this on a quadcopter and start flying, as soon as you start flying, the voltage is probably going to go below 4.1 volts anyway. So the short answer is no, you're not going to be using this on one of those little brushed micro quadcopters. So that's, I'll put this up to 5 volts just to give it the proper power while we do the rest of this. Alright, I can put that aside, I suppose. So at the moment the signal wire is connected to the camera. See if I can just put that over there. Let's put that so you can still hopefully see that it's on. Alright. And in this situation, it started up with the signal showing, or the display on the back showing B4. And that means that we are running, if we look over here at what my receiver is set to, it's set to 2.4. So B being the second letter of the alphabet, that's frame 2, and channel 4, which is why we have a picture in there. It probably doesn't look very good on video, but it looks pretty good in person. So we can change the channel within that frame just by changing the PWM signal that's being sent from here. So if you had this on a dial on your receiver or on your transmitter, and you had a PWM output on your receiver that could do this, you could change the channel while you're flying. Not very useful perhaps, but it's just a nice little feature that lets you change your channel without actually opening up your quad or poking a screwdriver in to flip dip switches or push buttons or anything like that. So if I just turn it a little bit, see if I can do this all here. I just stuck it to this foam block because it's a bit fiddly to hold, it's so small. So if I just turn this, we'll see, if I turn it 5, 6, 7, so now we'll see that we're not getting anything on there, but I should get that reception back again if I change this to 7. Hopefully. Yep. So that's quite a neat little feature, even if it's not really that interesting. I mean, useful. So now we're on B7. And to change the frame, there's a little button in the bottom right, and if you long press that button, we'll see now it goes to C, and we don't really, no signal on there. But now if I change this to channel to frame C, which is 3 I suppose, then we should have that picture back again. So that's how you change the frame and the channel within the frame. If you don't want to use this PWM signal thing, you'll need to disconnect the signal wire from here so that you're only using the ground and VCC for power. And in that situation, what you would do is use a short press to change the channel and a long press, as we just did, to change the frame. But if you have a PWM signal connected like I do now, that's going to be taking priority for the channel selection. Alright, so there is another button up there in the top left, and that lets you flip the screen either horizontally or vertically, and also select between NTSC and PAL output. And let me just grab the manual to refresh my memory about how these work. So it's this one up there. It says so channel select. This is the button in the bottom right. The button in the top left, as you can see there, is NTSC PAL select. So press for 2 seconds, the image will turn upside down. 5 seconds, the image will left and right mirror, and 10 seconds will switch between NTSC and PAL. So hopefully you can see there my computer screen on my desk, everything is up the right way. Now let's try flipping it upside down, so that's 2 seconds. And you'll see that when we hold it for 2 seconds, it displays the top and bottom bars. And then we should see that the image is all upside down. And if we do that for 5 seconds, oh, by the way, it shows a P after that. So P is for PAL. And if we try that for 5 seconds this time, so I'll just wait for that up and down thing to go away. Now it's side by side. So if I let it go during that, while it's displaying side by side, that will flip the image from left to right, mirror the image left to right. It's probably better. Actually, that means that it's now going to be correct if it's upside down. So if you wanted it upside down, you'd flip it vertically and then horizontally to get it back to the correct directions. And then to change from NTSC to PAL, this is the first time I've ever been able to compare PAL and NTSC side by side with the same camera and the same receiver. And I've heard Bruce on RC Model Reviews say that PAL gives you a little bit more reception, but I didn't really care about it. But yeah, he's right, it does give you a little bit more, not reception, resolution. It does give you a bit better resolution. But anyway, so you hold this down for 10 seconds, and instead of displaying a P like that, ready? So you wait for that to go away, and then you wait for that to go away, and then it should say N. Alright, so that is N, and you may have just seen the screen flicker in the background, unless my hand was in the way. And now we're looking at it through NTSC. Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to be able to tell in this video the difference between resolution. You have to try it for yourself, I think. But take my word for it, it is a tiny, tiny little bit better, clearer resolution when you are using PAL. So I think, I think for my purposes here, I'll switch this back to PAL and keep using it that way. So now I'll go back to P. Like that. And it's still upside down, so I have to tip it up the right way again. Anyway, but now I'm going to put it on my quadcopter and fly it out in the field a little bit and see at what point we lose video from this transmitter. And it's only, of course, it's only 25 milliwatts, so I don't think we'll be able to get too much further than 4 400 meters maybe in clear line of sight if I'm lucky. But the quad that I'm going to use it on has returned to home, so I'm not too worried about completely losing video as I'm flying. Anyway, that's ready. But yeah, as far as connections go, that's really handy to be able to just stick it onto. I'm just going to stick it onto my flight controller pins where the receiver pins are, and that should give it 5 volts supply, no problem. Okay, let's give this a try. Looks pretty good so far. Here comes the sun. Much nicer with the sun out, isn't it? Alright, let's see. I'll first try going away, facing away. Oh, okay. This is about 100 meters here. And I think this is probably because the camera is on the far side of the quad. So, oh shit, I can't see anything. So let's just turn to the side. Oh, it's quite windy. Alright, yeah. So when I'm facing to the side, I have a clear line of sight now, so that's fine. But if I face away like this, oh, that's not bad there. Okay, I'll just hold it here. So this is about 300 meters here now, so this is quite good. Yep, perfect when we're facing towards the receiver, of course. Oh, not very good there. This is about 400 meters, I think. 400 meters, and it looks really nice. Now there is a tree around here somewhere. Let me just see if I can find that. Okay. Alright, there's the tree. Looks like we're high enough that we're not going to hit it. So now I'm facing away again, and it seems to be fairly good. A little bit of discoloring coming in, but I can still fly fairly easily. So I'd say we're about 500 meters here. Oh yeah, this is easily 500 meters, 600 even. And I can fly, oh, it's enough to fly, but it's not too pleasant, shall we say. So I've just gone over that fence line there, so I'll use that as my marker when I check on Google Maps. Oh, there's one of those watering troughs there, so we can use that as our measuring stick. And there's another one there. Let's see if we can get far enough past that one. Yeah, okay, we can still see. Wow, this is pretty good. Yep, still flyable, but I wouldn't want to do this on purpose. I mean, I am doing it on purpose right now, of course, but I mean, I wouldn't want to regularly do this and expect it to work every time. Let's face this direction. Oh well, that should, okay, we've completely lost signal there. So I think I'll just bring it home now. That should give you a pretty good idea of how far you can get with one of these little 25 milliwatt transmitters. I'm not using a circularly polarized antenna, a helical antenna on the receiver or anything either. I'm just using the normal cloverleaf. So now let's bring it home. Oh, it's kind of weird flying in angle mode after flying in rate mode for so long. And I might go a bit higher. It seems if I go a little bit higher I'll get better signal here. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Yeah, well, I'm quite happy with that for $27 or $28 or whatever it was. It's very, very convenient. Hello, cows. Very, very convenient that you can just stick it on there. It took me all of about 2 minutes to attach it to this quad, and just plug it into the flight controller, some spare 5-volt pins on there, and it's ready to go. And you can easily get about 400 meters of range out of it. Well, say 300 easily, and then easily maybe 500 or so if you have a good clear line of sight. So if I was to stick this further up on the quadcopter instead of sticking it rather low down on one side, I could probably have got to 500 meters no matter which direction I was facing. I might just go around the back of the house, excuse me, around the back of the house and see how it does over there, because that'll let us see what happens when there's an obstruction. Okay, yeah. Actually, that's not really too much different to my 200 milliwatt one, really. Okay. I might just land this line of sight because, oh no, I'll try landing it like this. It just feels strange in angle mode. Alright, there we go. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, well, that's not bad at all. Less than $30 and you can get 300 meters of range easy. Picture looks quite nice. It is a nice sunny day though, so maybe I should have tried this on a cloudy day, because we do have plenty of cloudy days lately. But on a sunny day at least, yeah, the picture looks really, really nice. Just in case people are not familiar with how these CMOS cameras have problems with contrasting light conditions, I thought I would do a little bit of a walking around test here and go in and out of the sun just to show you how quickly it adapts to the change in brightness. But as I was doing this, it occurred to me that this is not really the problem, because when it's sunny, the sky is bright and the ground is also still bright. So this is not really the biggest problem. The biggest problem is on an overcast day or at twilight after the sun has just gone down, when the sky is still bright but the ground is relatively quite dark. So I thought I would wait until just after the sun had gone down, and I put this onto my bonsai little flying wing, and it took it took about 90 seconds to get this attached. Admittedly, it's a pretty lazy way to do it, but it worked. It's just one single strip of sellotape sticking the camera down to the battery, and I plugged the power into the spare port on the receiver, which is the bind port, I think, and that was it. Very, very simple. So in this video here, it's not going to be a very nice video to watch because it's all kind of dark. And with the lines on the screen there too, I did not see those lines while I was flying, by the way. So I could see a little bit better than what we see here. And this is probably the most challenging kind of lighting conditions for this camera. But the fact that I was still able to fly for a while, at least, I mean, it got darker while I was doing this, so I had to stop after a while. But the fact that I could even fly at all in this kind of a situation means that it's okay. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's not easy, but you can do it. So I think I'll just let the rest of this video play out, and yeah, like I say, it's not super exciting to watch. Although I did manage to shoot some gaps between the house and the garage, and under the clothesline, and under the tree in the field next to the house. And I had a radio-controlled dropout as I went over by those tall pine trees, which was quite scary because it almost I managed to recover it, but it almost went into the pond, which would have been a bit sad, but fortunately it didn't. So now I know that this 3-channel receiver is not a very good one as far as range goes, because that's only about 180 meters or so there. Anyway, enough talk. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.